Hi everybody, it's Casey Williams. The GMC Yukon has been one of my favorite full-size SUVs for a very long time. Especially compared to its European competitors. It's comfortable, it's quiet, and it just seems to be just no hassle. You just drive it many miles, load up the family, take long trips, pull anything you want, drive it almost anywhere. Well, there were some complaints from it in the past. It didn't have an adjustable suspension system, the interiors weren't always quite up to the price point, and the third row seat could be a little bit tight. Well, GMC has fixed all those issues in the 2021 redesign. And the vehicle we have for you is a really cool vehicle too. It's the AT4 Off-Road Edition. Let's go have a look at it. I really like the design of the new Yukon. I like the design of the last generation Yukon too. It was really clean, looked nice, but to me it just looked a little too formal for a big SUV. I really like how this comes off, especially with the AT4 package. And it really starts at the front. You have the dark surround for the grille, the dark slats, looks really good. Down below, the red tow hooks. So if you get stuck, you actually can't get yourself out. But it is also very sophisticated too, with the LED headlamps, LED fog lamps down below. You come around the side, and you really start to see the size of the vehicle. It's just marginally larger than the last generation, which really just pays off in rear seat legroom. But it looks really tough. The 20-inch alloy wheels with the off-road tires, deployable running boards. The AT4, you also get all the dark trim. Looks really nice too, just not as much chrome as some of the other models. Like the upturned rear window here. Again, the old one just came across, just very formal, very limousine-like, which I guess is alright if you're using them as a black car, as a service car. But I think this just looks better. It really kind of ties the styling more to other GM crossovers like the Traverse. Come around the back again, you just really see they've extended the rear. Some of the details you see too, like this little piece here, just really lets the air come off cleanly. Kind of helps the gas mileage just a little bit. Power hatch. And there's just a little more space back here. You can get the luggage in. But again, this is the short wheelbase model. If you want the long wheelbase, the XL model, you get a lot more luggage space back here. But they also make it very easy to extend the luggage space. One button, rear seat goes down, power's down. So the other side does the same thing. You can get all your luggage in here, bicycles in, whatever gear you want. Well, think about where the GMC Yukon falls in General Motors' full-size SUV lineup. At the bottom of that lineup is the Chevy Tahoe, in the middle is the Yukon, and at the very top of that range is the Cadillac Escalade. And when you look around the Yukon's interior, it feels like it's kind of right in the middle of those two. It's a little bit nicer than the Tahoe, but not quite where the Cadillac is. But with just a little bit of imagination, you could really imagine this being the Escalade inside. Especially when you think about what the AT4 is. The AT4 is the upper-level luxury edition. It's got the off-road version of like the GMC Denali's. So it really kind of top that range, but a little more off-road capability. So you look in the cabin, and I really like what they've done. It does feel very upscale, very nice. The tan stitching, the layers of materials, kind of gives that impression that it came out of Cadillac rather than a GMC. Like it a lot. Like the push button, shifter controls over here, pull up for reverse, neutral, drive, push down for neutral, up for drive, down for park. So all buttons here, I think it's very nice, very sophisticated. It's got tri-zone automatic climate control, 2 zones in the front, 1 zone for the rear, and you've got rear air vents for both rows of seats in the back. And very well pointed. Again, I like these seats a lot. I like the tan. I like the dark gray. I think it's very nice. These are heated and ventilated in the front. Got a heated leather-wrapped steering wheel. And the audio system. I like Chevrolet's and GMC's touchscreens. Very simple to use. Just icons for audio, the phone, navigation, other functions. Simple home button. Very easy. It's swipe screen, scrolls. This is hooked to the Bose audio system. I've also got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Wi-Fi, down the console, wireless charging for the phone. So pretty much the full array of everything you would want for that. Some other nice equipment on this car. It's got the widescreen heads-up display I like a lot. It's kind of got the flat screen here in the center of the instrument cluster for auxiliary displays. The twin-panel roof. So pretty much everything, again, you would expect to have in a luxury SUV. On the back of the headrest here are the screens for the rear seat media systems. So, rear seat passengers get to play and have some fun when you're on the road too. And keeping everybody safe, as you expect in a full-size luxury SUV. It's got all the safety gear you'd ever want on it. It's got the forward collision alert with auto brake, lane keep assist, blind spot warning. It's got the trailer blind spot warning system as well, rear cross path detection, pretty much the full suite of the safety systems too. Well, if there's one area where I thought GMC really did need to improve, it was the suspension system. I think, the old generations for most people, I think it was comfortable enough, it was smooth enough, I think it did its job okay. But it just becomes a point where a solid rear axle just does not provide the ride quality you need in an upscale SUV. Well, this one finally has a full independent rear suspension. Better than that, it has an air suspension system too. So it rides very comfortably, you can adjust the harshness of it, but it also raised the vehicle up to go off-road, do some serious off-roading in it. I think they've done a nice job. They've paired that with magnetic ride control, so there's a lot of real-time damping on the wheels with the air suspension. It just provides this very smooth, very controlled ride, and just a lot more articulation, when you really want to go off-roading with it. So there's a lot of capability that comes along with it too, in terms of powertrain. You can get Yukons with a 6.2 liter V8. You can also get it with a turbo diesel now. But this vehicle has the 5.3 liter V8, delivers 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. Connect that to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and I think it's a really smooth, really nice match for the powertrain. Transmission does a nice job. It's imperceptible going up and down the gear changes, very smooth, and always keeps that engine right in the right rev range. So talking about towing capacity, again, most people who buy these, if you're going to buy a 3-row vehicle, to haul your family, there are more efficient ways of doing it. You can go buy a Chevy Traverse, get your family at very comfortable, and get better gas mileage doing it, by the way. So if you're going to buy a Yukon, you probably really do need the capability. You either need the 4-wheel drive capability or to be able to tow and trailer with it. So talking about trailering, this thing will tow up to 8,200 pounds. So you can hook onto that Airstream trailer, hook onto your boat, classic car, and you've got enough vehicle to do that as well. But fuel economy, I think that's probably one of the downsides of this vehicle. Keep in mind it's the AT4, it's got the big wheels and tires, and it's jacked up and all those things to it. But you're looking at 16 miles per gallon in the city, 20 miles per gallon on the highway. It'd be nice to have a couple more miles per gallon. But again, if you go get one of the other Yukons, get the diesel in it, you'll be in the mid to high 20s out on the highway. And I think that's probably a pretty good deal. But for everything this vehicle offers, all of its capability, I just think they've just made a lot of improvements in the refinement, the way it handles, the way it drives, and really now is finally up to that price point that you would expect. I really like what GMC has done with the Yukon. They fixed a few things that needed fixing and left everything else alone. Add a little more rear seat leg room. The independent rear suspension just absolutely transforms the ride and handling. I like the air suspension. You can jack it up to some serious off-roading, especially like the AT4 package. And I also like the new upscale interior, exactly what it needs to be. Still the same old Yukon where you can load up your family, take them where you want to go, but just a little more comfortable, more capable as you're doing it. But let's talk about price, because that may be the one thing you don't completely love. Well, the base price is just under $51,000. AT4 package, you're looking at about $65,000. With the one we have today, fully loaded, you're at $75,455. Compared to a Range Rover or the Mercedes, that's not terribly expensive, but for a General Motors SUV, it's starting to climb up that price scale pretty high. But again, I think if you can afford it, I think you're going to like this vehicle a lot. Well, next week, we'll have another fun car. Till then, storm forward.